What's going on YouTube? This is Rich, back with another video, back with another gem. As I always say, this channel is all about faith, family, fun, and finances. And today I really want to touch on family. As I've shared in the past, I have 5 kids. I'm a father of 5 children, ages 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. 3 boys, 2 girls, and I am happily married to my lovely wife. What I want to talk about today is, I guess you could say, an opinion. But if you really listen into this opinion that I want to share with you, you see there's a lot of truth in it. And my hope is that from what I'm getting ready to share, it'll be something that would encourage you as a parent raising children up in this generation. See, I'm 36 years old, and I grew up in the 80s, 90s, seen the 2000 era, and I've never seen a time like we are in right now with just an advancement of technology. See, today is March the 22nd. All these days are connected. Oftentimes I lose track of the days, but today is Friday, March 22nd. And my kids love Fridays. Why? They love Fridays because this is the day that my wife and I finally give them access to technology. We live in a technological era, but my wife and I, we purpose in our hearts and our minds to not allow our kids to be glued to the screens. People, hear me out. This is a pandemic. This is an epidemic that is plaguing our youth, plaguing this generation. They are glued to their screens Monday to Sunday, 24/7. And it's almost as though we're raising up children who are addicts. They just want to be on their cell phones all day. They just want to be on their video games all day. They just want to be on their tablets all day. And we have to do something about it, because if not, we are raising up a zombie generation. We're raising up a generation that is socially disconnected because all they want to do is be on their tablets and their cell phones. And yes, I get it. I get it. We are in a technological era, but we have to, as parents specifically, I'm speaking more so to my young parents, those who have kids who are 2 and 4, my young parents, because the reality is, our teens, it's kind of hard to kind of pull that plug right now because, they use their cell phones for everything. And the reality is the way society has moved into such a level of lawlessness, I really can't blame parents who give their children cell phones. Just the fear of, what if something happens at school? What if there's a school shooting? What if this? What if that? So we really want to be able to have that access to them to be able to communicate. And trust me, I 100% get it. I'm a father. If my kids are away, I would love to be able to hear from them. I would love to see and make sure that they're okay. But my wife and I, we made a decision that we do not want our kids to have too much access, that they are, lost in the technological world. I know I said a mouthful, but even in my opinion, there's a lot of reality behind it. You see, I didn't get my first cell phone, and again, I'm a little bit older, pushing 40, but I didn't get my first cell phone. My parents did not give me my first cell phone until I was going to college. So my senior year in school, I was borrowing friends' cell phones. But granted, back then, cell phones weren't, such a big thing as it is now. And I was able to get by with it. But I didn't get a cell phone until I was on my way to college. I was 17, 18 when I got my first cell phone. That was back in 2007, 2008. Times have changed. Yes, I understand. But we've got to, especially for my young parents, and I really want to drill this in for my young parents. Yes, I know we're tired. Yes, I know we go to work. Yes, at times we want that time to ourselves to just be able to think and just to be able to plan for the next day. And sometimes we just fall into that pressure, into that trap of just giving our kids the tablet, giving them the cell phone, just so that they can, leave us alone just for 30 minutes to an hour. But the reality is, guys, we are feeding their brains this drug called technology. We're feeding them a drug, and they get to a place where they get addicted. My wife is an educator. She teaches in the high school level, and she just reminds us of what we're fighting against, because these kids are so dependent on their cell phones. These kids are addicted to their cell phones. These kids will do anything just to have those cell phones. And if you dare take that cell phone from them, if you dare take that tablet from them, all hell breaks loose. But the question is, what can we do now as parents? And again, I'm speaking more so to my young up and coming parents, those who have 2-year-olds, those who have 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, the ones that we still have room to kind of, control. We have to give them these things, these tools, because technology is a tool, right? But we have to be able to give it to them in moderation. And I think that's the word that I really want to drive home today. Give your kids technology, the tablets, the cell phones, in moderation. Don't just give it to them, because even us as parents, we struggle with, self-control when it comes to our cell phone. Because the first thing we do in the morning, we check our cell phones. At work, we check our cell phones. We're constantly on our cell phones. And this is us as adults with brains who are fully developed. Now imagine a child. Imagine a kid whose brain isn't fully developed. Imagine a child who, they don't have that level of self-control. So if we fall into the pressure of this world, and if we give in to the pressure of what society deems as normal, we're going to lose our kids. We're going to lose this generation. We're going to lose them to technology. So we got to change some things, folks. My parents, hear my heart. I'm not out of touch from the times, because I get it. I have 5, like I said, I have kids. I want them to be safe. But I want to protect this too. I want to protect their brains. This brain that God gave them, that's full of creativity. We've got to find different mechanisms and ways to keep them distracted. Maybe board games, maybe going to the park, maybe playing. This is things that my wife and I do. We take the time to be able to go out with them and to keep them engaged and in interacting with one another. Because if we give in and buy into what society says, listen, we're going to give them those cell phones Monday through Friday, and they'll be on there for hours and hours on end if we don't give it to them in moderation. Like I said, they love the weekend. They love Friday, because Monday through Thursday, they have no access to tablets, no access to cell phones, no access, because we're the parents, right? But once the weekend comes, we give them, that access, because they're kids. I get it. They're kids. They want to have fun. They want to play games. They want to do all those things. But at the end of the day, we're trying to protect this, because that dopamine rush from technology, the way technology can affect their brain at such a young age, we got to think about it. We got to be wise. God has entrusted us as parents with our kids to steward, to care for, to nurture, to love them, to raise them up. So guys, hear my heart. Don't give in to the pressure of society. Don't give in to fear. Because the word of God says God has not given us a spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. If you got something from this on today, like and subscribe. Again, join us on the journey. Peace.